Well, we've been talking the last few weeks about what I call master methods. Methods taught by Jesus Christ. I'd like you to think back, perhaps just a few hours ago. You got up this morning, you found that there's life after coffee. It does sound low, yeah. Then you probably at some point looked in a mirror. Do you remember what you said to yourself? I bet you didn't say, "Hi, God." I've been known to say, "Oh, God." But it wasn't a prayer. What do you see when you look in the mirror? Remember in the opening chapter of Genesis, it talks about God made man in his image, after his likeness. That image likeness is within you. So when you look in the mirror, not at the physical, but when you look through the physical, the life you are, the spirit that animates your body, that's God. The image, or if you look at the screen, I am-age. Take the A out and it's image, isn't it? I am-age. God's very own spirit individualized within you. Now, it's time we started, when we look in the mirror, seeing the presence of God. The more you see the presence of God right here where you are, the more you bring forth that awareness of the presence of God working and moving through you. Recently, I'm going to tell you, this is a little truth about me. I hope you keep it to yourself. And you use your debit card, and then they ask you to sign the screen. Well, of course I sign the screen. I'm just not sure how I'm going to sign it. I have signed it, Barack Obama, George Bush, George Carlin, whoever comes to mind at the time. But I have never signed it with my real name. I'm not talking about Greg. I am. Why don't I sign it? I am. Is that not the real of me? Is that not the real of you? The I am-age. The image likeness of God. If I told you Jesus' greatest secret was identifying, connecting to the Father God continually. He who seeth me seeth what? The Father. I am in the Father, and the Father is in me. Notice, nowhere in these words is there a sense of separation. Here, me is, and God is out there. And I said me is because we don't often identify the I of ourselves as the divinity within. But it was a profound secret of Jesus. Oh, he didn't try to keep it a secret. It's just that we're kind of slow to pick it up. This is the age, I am age, of I am. To be aware of that divine presence and that power. Now, you remember the wonderful disciples, Thomas, Philip, Peter. Oh, here they were. They were all gathered together. Jesus had been telling him that he was about to leave them soon. He said, I go to prepare a place for you, that where I am, you may be also. You can sort of see them, can't you? Thomas, Peter, Philip. Oh, Philip, over here. And they're looking at him, and they're, in their own minds, they're saying, huh? Okay. What does he mean? I don't know. Does he mean he's going to Jerusalem? Well, we're here. Or could he mean we're going to Emmaus? I don't know. What's he doing? Finally, Thomas, the one who wants to know about everything. You remember Thomas, the doubter, the one who wanted to experience the nail holes, nail prints in his hands. Lord, we do not know where you go. He used that wonderful expression in the King James, whither thou goest. And how can we know the way? Well, there's the question. How can we know the way? All this time, 3 years, they've been following this man for 3 years. He's saying, I'm going to prepare a place for you. And they're thinking, okay, maybe he's going south. Maybe he's going to the Riviera. I understand it's nice there this time of year. And you can almost hear that voice that said, peace, be still. That voice that calmed the waters. That voice that calmed the waves, saying, I am the way. They didn't know where he was going, what he meant. They didn't know the way. And he said, I am the way and the truth and the life. I sort of like the King James version here because King James came from Greek, translated from the Greek, and this word, way, as a Greek word, it has a meaning that I think is important. It means the route, the highway. I am the route. I am the highway. It can also mean the process. I am is the process. I am the process. What does that mean for us? Discovering the reality of the I am of us, the Spirit of God implanted within us. That part of us we don't see until we look with our inner eyes, until we look beyond the physicality. That part that we try to see in others when we say, I behold the Christ in you. You've said that. We've sung a song about it. What did you mean when you said it? I behold the Christ in you. But what am I beholding? The Spirit of God individualized in you as you. We're looking for the I am. This is the I am age, time for us to awaken to that reality of our being. I am. Now, if the I am is the way, the process we get there, then he also said, I am the truth. I am the truth. Truth, essential nature, the reality of the universe. Jesus not only said he was the way, but he demonstrated that truth in his life, in his healings, in so many events in his life. I am the life. That essence of perfection. That essence of God life. So Christ is the way. I am. That's the way we come to this awareness. By recognizing it, by affirming it, by calling it forth as often as we possibly can. And then, as we recognize that divinity, we realize the reality of truth. It's the truth about us. It is the essential nature of ourselves. The reality of our being here. Not as human beings, but as spiritual beings. I am. Think how often we throw that little phrase around. I am. It seems like when my mother was angry with me, she drew upon her, I am. And what would I hear? I am sick and... I am so ticked off. I am afraid. We attach our sense of I am to so many things that we're not. But then what happens? We attach our sense of I am to so many things that we're not, and we become sick and tired. We become the thing we aren't. So Jesus is letting this little secret out. And he wasn't keeping it a secret. It's just obviously they didn't get it right away. What's he talking about? Identify with the Christ in you. I'm going to say this, and some of you are going to go, huh? The Christ in you is more important to you than the name Jesus Christ. When we look to him out there as someone separate and someone special, that's no help for us. We follow him by being as he was, by calling forth that divinity from within ourselves. It's the same Christ in us that is in him. So it is so much more important for us to recognize that divinity in us because we've already considered it in him. And many of us attributed that divinity to him. But now it's time to attribute it to yourself, your divine self, your God self. I think we have children playing, yes? Have you ever been doing some task and using, well, Boots, what are you up to? Using a tool, and this has happened to me so many times. I don't care if I'm working on plumbing in the bathroom or something electrical in a socket somewhere. Recently, it was a pair of pliers. I was using a pair of pliers. Did anyone ever use a plier? I know what a scissor is. You know, we always say a pair of scissors, right? But a scissor, you know what that is? A knife. It's half of a scissors. It's a knife. A pair of pliers. I was using a pair of pliers. And there's a gremlin that comes around and hides my tools while I'm using them. So I'm looking for the pair of pliers, and I'm looking all around me, and I can't find it. I moved to look in another area. I had been sitting on it. It was right there where I was. Isn't that like the Christ in you? We have looked all over. I like to light candles when I visit churches, cathedrals and things. I like to leave a lit candle behind. Sometimes for others, sometimes for myself. I have lit candles in Montreal and in Toronto and in Albuquerque and in Paris and Notre Dame. I guess it'll be a while till I do that again. And Sacré-Cœur in Paris and the Dome in Cologne, the Cologne Cathedral. So huge. There's something about lighting a candle in these places because people have prayed over these candles in these cathedrals for centuries. And there is a body of energy. You can feel the energy of their devotion. But I walked away saying, yeah, but I didn't see God. I didn't see God. Then I realized I was looking outside. I need to look in me. I need to look into that Spirit of God individualized in me. And it's where you need to look. And Jesus was telling us, look, I have prepared the way for your consciousness to grow. I have shown you this process, this path, this route. Follow me. And instead, we've worshiped him and not tried to follow him. Confusing the worship with the act of becoming one with him because it's the same Christ. That individualized expression of God in him and in us. How can you begin to enter this I am age? Start affirming that I identity. Start doing what he did. The Father and I are how many? One. One. Reminding yourself, he who sees me sees the Father. I am in the Father, and the Father is in me. Closer than that pair of pliers that could have pinched me in the nose. One God, individualized into many expressions of itself. But it is for us to know that, for it to be true for us. And it is we who have to accept it as the truth of being. Yeah. God is, we are, and what we've been seeking, we are. What I sought in all the cathedrals, I already was. An individualized expression of God. I didn't recognize the individualized expression of God in every person who was in those cathedrals, or on the streets, or in the cafes, or the restaurants, or the museums. But God indeed was at all points. And in my ignorance, I missed it. Even in myself. Use that power of the I. It is the divine I, the God I. I am what I'm seeking. Live in it, and we shall have it. I am. Together? I am. The Christ in you is the way. I am. Together? I am. The Christ in you is the truth, the reality. I am. I am. The Christ within you is the life itself. Realize you are what you seek. I see the Father, and the Father is in me. You see the Father, and the Father is in you. You are it in expression. You are God in expression. You are. God is. And we are well.